Good morning, guys. Good morning, everybody. Good morning from this corner of the world at this very first hours of the day. Very small hours, very little hours of the day. Good morning. My name is Hasan Zeki Alp. You know me. I've been presenting you modern programming languages in video manner, and so far we have completed lots of courses, lots of lessons, and this is going to be the second lesson for CoffeeScript lesson. In a few days ago, I have broadcasted the very first CoffeeScript lesson, and it's going to be the second lesson. We're going with lesson second, file 7, and as usual I will be using ECLIPSE integrated development environment, and without wasting any time, I'd like to start up today's CoffeeScript lesson. Before starting, I'd like to say a few words about CoffeeScript. Just as I mentioned at the first lesson, there are some advantages in comparing to JavaScript. In fact, I can say that we can find some fancy features in CoffeeScript that in Python and in Ruby you can find such fancy features. That's to say, there are many inspirations due to stem from Haskell and Ruby and Python, in fact, and that makes this CoffeeScript very friendly, user-friendly, and very fancy. I think that's my idea. And right away I'll start up our lessons. Okay, this is coffee07.coffee file, and when you see, just I define variables without mentioning var keyword. It's an advantage, as I said with the previous lesson. I here define variable A and variable B, and after that I define another variable here, such as C. It's gonna be a string test, and I simply use console log. The value of A and B is this is the phrase, explanatory phrase, and after that I define another variable such as result, so as to be including the value of A and A plus B, and after that I simply make it printed by using console log without using any parentheses or any quotation mark. Just it's an advantage without using any one. And after that I make a subtraction. In fact, the purpose of this lesson is to give an example of sum, subtraction, division, and division with the remaining part, modulo arithmetic, and summation of 3 variables. And just as you can see, I simply assign the result of arithmetic operation to a variable named result. I use this result each time, and after that I make it printed. I make it displayed on the screen. This is valid for A divided B or A modulo B. And of course here I add three variables so as to include so as to make so as to be stored in result, and after that I simply make it displayed. And this is the increment notation. In fact, a plus plus a is gonna be stored in our variable a, and after that I simply make it printed. I make it stored in a result variable, and after that I make it printed result once again. And this is the decrement. This is an example for decrement of the variable. And again I repeat the same structure, same things. And what happens when I convert this coffee file to JavaScript 1? Okay, this is compiled and without giving any errors. And just I here would like to show you JavaScript equivalent correspondent. And as I said previously, a function is created as a result of this console operations, and you have to mention variable a, b, c, and result. Of course, there is a necessity to provide a var keyword here, and the other part is almost the same. However, you have to we have returned to quotation marks and brackets once again, because we've been in JavaScript environment, and all these bits and pieces will be the same with the CoffeeScript 1. And after that, when you see these curly brackets, okay, up to here, our function definition finishes here, and by using another parenthesis here, and of course we have to close it, we simply invoke this function. We simply recall this function. We recall this. This is the keyword, and when I run this file by means of Node.js.exe, I simply get such outputs. This is the sum. This is an example for summation. This is the subtraction. This is the division, and this is the division with remaining, and this is the summation of three variables, and this is the this is our C variable. Actually, A plus B plus C means 23, and without leaving any space, test. Test stands for C. In fact, test stands for C, and the value of plus plus A is 35, and the value of minus minus B is 8. And let me show you another example. This is another example, coffee underscore 08 coffee file. Okay, let's edit this file once again. Okay, this time I'd like to show you aliases usage here. I define a variable A and B, and I use my console log method so as to display this statement. The result of A equals to B is this is the paraphrasing expression, and just I would like to take your attention here. Result will be assigned as it seems a little bit weird, however it works. That means the result of the logical expression of A equals to B will be assigned as the value for a result variable, and after that I simply make it displayed the result variable, and after that I make another comparison here, a less than b, and for this branch a greater than b, and a does not equal to b, and a greater or equal to b, and a less than or equal to b. And for each one I simply make it displayed by means of console log method. Sorry. And after compiling this file, I obtain coffee_08 JavaScript file, and once again you see this function, and this is the symbolic presentation. In fact, this is the same, and the other all the same, and we call this function itself, and let me run this one and show you. Okay. Okay, this time the printed value will be a logical one, Boolean one, I think. I say this is gonna be false, because a in fact does not equal to b, and this is a true statement. This is a false statement. This is true. This is true also, and the last one will be false. And this was the number file number 08, and what about file number 09? Here I'd like to show you a bit level presentation, bit level comparison. I here define a variable a, so as to be 2, and define another variable b, and I here would like to show their binary presentation, in fact bit presentation. 2 means 1 0, that's to say this stands for 0 and this stands for 2. 2 plus 0 equals to 2. And how about 3? This is 1, this is 2. 2 plus 1 equals to 3. And simply I would like to print out this phrase. The result of A and B, A logical and B, is this the paraphrasing, and the result A and B will be assigned to result variable, and after that I simply make it printed. And similarly I repeat this operation for A and A or B, and A exclusive or B, and not B or complementary B, and A left shift B, and A right shift B, and that's all. This stands for multiplication by 2. This stands for division by 2, in fact, for each step. And when I convert this CoffeeScript file by using a CoffeeScript Compiler into JavaScript file, just we obtain coffee_09 JavaScript file, and similar syntax you can see here, just considering some small differences, such as quotation marks and parentheses, and I make it run. Okay. The result of A and B, A logical and B, is 2. This is the decimal correspondence, decimal corresponding value. The result of A or B is 3. The result of A exclusive or B is 1, and the result of complementary B or negation of B is -4, and the result of A left shift B is 16. Just look here, 2 to the power of 4 to the power of 3 equals to the power of 3 equals to 16, in fact. And the result of a right shift B, so it becomes 0 value, full of zeros, digits. And this was 9. How about lesson 10? In our this example, I would like to show you assignment operators. Assignment operators, as you remember from the other programming languages, is equal, is assignment, and assignment by increment B, or as summation B, and subtraction B, multiplication B, and division by B, and modulo arithmetic by B, or division with the remaining by B. And this is the shortest notation, in fact. And when I convert this file to JavaScript, I simply get this coffee 10 JavaScript file, and when I run this file with Node, I simply get these values. The value of after the operation, A will be assigned as B, and etc., etc. 10, 20, 10, 100, 10, and 0 will be displayed as a result of this console log result printout operation. How about our next file? With coffee 11 file, I assign here a numeric value. A will be assigned as 21st, 21, and B is going to be assigned as a string value, because I see here quotation marks 21st, 21, and the result will be assigned as the result expression of 21 is identical to string 21, in fact. And after that, I'd like to get it printed, get it displayed, the result, this result. And when I convert this file into a JavaScript file, I simply get this notation, such structure. And of course, it's a function, and variable A and B and result must be here, and A is assigned as 21, and B is assigned as 21 within quotation marks, and result will be assigned as the resultant expression of if 21 identical to string 21. And when I get this result as assigned with the resultant value, I simply recall a console log method and result will be existing inside. And yes, let's make it run. Okay, false. In fact, 21st for the variable a is a numeric value. How about under 21 within brackets? This notation corresponds to string, in fact. So as a result of this comparison with 3 equal sign, will give a result of false, in fact, and consequently a false result will be displayed on the screen. Okay, just I would like to show you another coffee example. I here assign some values to my variable. For example, this is a name variable, so as to include my surname, my name as a string value, ALP, and this is the age, this is my age, 60, and here I define another variable here, subject. This is a string also, engineering, and just I would like to show you a verify name feature with CoffeeScript. I defined a variable verify underscore name, so as to a name with interrogation mark, name interrogation mark, and verify phone will be assigned as phone with an interrogation mark, and after that I simply recall my console log message in order to print out the verify name and verify phone. This is a fresh new feature for the ones who meets the first time with CoffeeScript. And when I convert this JavaScript, I simply get this bunch of codes, and of course its function, and our variables are age, name, subject, verify underscore name, and verify underscore phone, and all have a prefix or previous keyword such as var, and name is ELP, and age 60, and subject engineering, and verify name will be assigned as name does not equal to null. And how about verify phone? Verify phone will be assigned as type of phone does not identical to undefined, and phone does not equal to, or it's not identified as null. This is somehow confusing, in fact. However, when you see the result, you will be much more understanding, much more clear. It's going to be much more clarified in your mind, and this is going to be print out verify name and verify phone. So I simply make it run. Okay, how about the result? For this verification, name actually is verified because we have already mentioned name, and as a result of this, verify name variable will be assigned as true, and we simply make it displayed. And how about a phone? In fact, when we look here, we do not have any variable that's assigned any telephone number, and as a result of this situation, this case, telephone number will verify telephone number or verify phone variable will contain a false expression, a false Boolean expression, and it's already 25 minutes. Okay, you guys, in order to overcome uploading problems, I have to finish this lesson here. So we have seen 12 lessons, and our next lesson will start with 13 file 13, and thanks for your watching me at the very first hours of this day, and thanks for sharing time. Bye bye. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Bye bye.